everyone, Maurice and welcome to Tanks Invest, where we talk about investing, finance, and professional development. For today's video, entertainment purposes only. The investment we're going to talk about today will be Cardano, ticker ADA. So it's been a while since I last covered Cardano, and with respect to this a week and a half so far, across the cryptocurrencies market with respect to a lot of altcoin, it experienced a relatively higher volatility in comparison to more of the stable coin like a Bitcoin or even like a Ethereum on a secondarily basis. So I'm going to go through a technical analysis to look at how Cardano is trading going forward, what is the right resistance level in case you want to further dollar cost average, and my price target for year in 2021 as well. So stay tuned, stick around, let's make some money. So moving on to the technical analysis for Cardano, ticker ADA. Just to look at the recap on historical perspective real quick, you can see that ever since the beginning of the whole pump, we're trading around like the $1.20, $1.16, $1.25. And ever since that, with respect to Coinbase IPO and also with respect to the whole SNL pump that we were anticipating with respect to Elon Musk's debut, on top of that, some positive media affectation with respect to the Cardano adoptions and utilizations on a global perspective, it subsequently pumped up the price point from the $1.20 all the way to reaching all-time high at that point, $1.80. And subsequent to that, because of the whole Elon Musk SNL debut on that Saturday, which we saw that on the 15th, 14 on the 15th, it subsequently ride up the whole cryptocurrencies pump across the whole market. And Cardano was in the spectrum of that pump as well, that subsequently ride up all the way to the all-time highs of the $2.44. And subsequent to that, we sold off immediately because whatever goes up really fast comes down really fast. And you could say that with respect to the drop, it was relatively steep, from the $2.42 all the way at the bottom of the $1.02 mark. And you could see that at that point, you could see the MACD basically is mirroring how the reversal of the MACD looks like, right? And this is a pretty, seismic shift in comparisons to the historical trends that we were testing before, right? So that tells you a lot about the logics behind the psychology. It was mostly just driven by euphoria, driven by momentum pump, instead of anything just more of utilization or adoption growth based type of pump. Right. So subsequent to that, we drove down all the way to a dollar level. However, because of the fact that it's so sharp, and we tested this like relatively bottom that we tested back in April 23rd, back in the day, that we immediately bought back up, because whatever goes down really fast or whatever goes up really fast comes down really fast, and whatever comes down really fast comes up really fast at the same time. We subsequently drove this V-shaped recovery, also at the same time forming a gap that you could see very clearly and prominently right here, right? And subsequent to that, we bounced back up to this level of $1.86, which is a secondary resistance level that we had. However, you could see that the resistance level is relatively shallow, right? We didn't really form any historical resistance level before this level here. We subsequently broke off again, right? And we could see that we tested this again as a secondary resistance level at the $1.50, which is again another psychological level that we've tested many times, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times, at historical level. And I think it's the $1.50, which is like an easy number for people to like kind of play around with, and that's why people tend to like look out for those like flat numbers to buy in or sell. And that's what happened exactly. That's why you saw like some sort of like consolidation sideways movement. And ever since then, we had that crash that we had during the 23rd, which was the Sunday, which we had across the whole market on with respect to the weekend effects, and also the Friday effect. And on that specific day across the whole cryptocurrencies market, Bitcoin was down about 11%, and I think Ethereum was down about like 17% on that day. So with respect to those mega cryptocurrencies, it drags down the whole altcoin market as well, which subsequently got that back down to the level of resistance that we tested historically at the $1.02, $1.05 level, which we tested back in the day, right, on May 19th. And subsequent to that, we bounced back up again to retest this level again at this psychological resistance level, the $1.50 again, and subsequently pumped up to the level of $1.80. And ever since that, we kind of spiral and consolidate on a sideways level right now, right? So today we're trading around like the $1.70 level, and with respect to like what I see coming forward for Cardano going forward is that we're currently just contemplating on, are we gonna go up from here to the $1.75 level, or are we gonna go down to retest the $1.64 level again? I think the likelihood of like going back up to the $1.78 level would be relatively weak, knowing the fact that you could see that despite having a lot of good consolidation movement, we have already tested this again already, right? So we are basically doing more of like a ping pong type of sideways zigzag type of trade right now. We're just basically consolidating, but the consolidation is relatively more vast and volatile in comparison to like Bitcoin, which is less volatile, or Ethereum, which is secondarily volatile. Cardano is a much more volatile consolidation, which is why you see this like major shift up and down, up and down, up and down, right? So I don't recommend like buying at these levels right now because of the fact that the current level is relatively weak in comparisons to the lower consolidation level, right? You could see that at the current level, we are consolidating because we have tested historically once, twice, multiple times, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times, and then 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 times. So right now is a fair consolidation level. However, because of the fact that you know, we are consolidated on the more of a spiral level right now, and also on top of that, you could see that the RSI is, you know, it's not like highly oversold or highly overbought at the moment. We're kind of trending more of a highly, you know, more of a buying pressure in comparison to the selling pressure, and also on top of that, you like if I shift up the MACD line a little bit more, you could see that the MACD line is slowly crossing downward right now, and that means that we're going to see more selling pressure coming forward for Cardano. So I think the first level of resistance level that we should be buying at would be somewhere around like the $1.64 level. That's like the first level of dollar cost average. I don't advise buying it now, but if you want to buy it now, that's totally fair too, because eventually Cardano is going to get further adopted, further utilized. The price is going to go up from here on a macro perspective, but just about more of a, do you want to get in at this level, or you want to get in a cheaper level? How do you want to think about that psychologically, internally, right? So again, the first level will be $1.64, and the secondary resistance level, if we break that, you know, you basically fall back all the way down to $1.60. And if we break that, you know, and I would say the $1.60 is relatively weak if you look at that historically, right? In comparison to $1.65, you could see that, you know, we were basically testing this like once, twice. We have this huge gap that we never formed, so this is not even a consolidation. We had this like one-time consolidation level, but it's relatively weak. That's something we sold off immediately. And we had a bunch of like selling pressure around these areas here, right? So the $1.60 is relatively weak in comparison to $1.60, $1.53 levels, which you could see that's a true resistance level that would form so many times, right? You could see that once with that reversal here, twice before that pump up as like an escalator curve, three times, 4 times, 5 times, 6 times, 7 times, 8 times, 9 times, and go on and so on and so forth. I would say this is multiple, like at least 14 times here. So $1.50 is a very strong resistance level for you to buy in. But if we break that, the next level is going to drop all the way down to the 144 first as a first consolidation. And that's a relatively weak level to consolidate, and we will fall all the way back down to $1.33 level, which, you know, the likelihood of us to do so would not be likely in the near term, but it's possible in like the, you know, further out, right? But right now, I don't think it's a right time to buy in now. I think you want to buy in at a lower level of $1.64. You want to buy it at these. You will want to load up around like the $1.50 level, which is a very strong level. But know the fact that if you break that $1.50 level, you have a steep fall all the way back down to the $1.44. And the likelihood of like breaking the $1.44 is more like a 60-40 in terms of like probability ratio to go back down to $1.33. So something to look out for. Again, right, Cardano is one of those cryptocurrencies that's a lot more volatile in comparison to the regular coins, right? So you kind of you don't want to hold your breath when you are investing in this. It takes a pretty strong level of mentality, strong level of logics, and you have to be truly dead inside for you to sustain these volatile pressure, because, you know, if you let your emotions go out of whack, you could subsequently, hinder your logics and your analytics and your judgment subsequently to make a bad execution on your trade. And that's how you lose money from there, right? So hopefully this breakdown is helpful in terms of like allowing you to have a clarity and also transparency into like what levels to watch out for, how to dollar cost average, and how you build your position from there in a more of a risk profile assessment perspective. Okay, so moving on to just to recap on all the numbers that we talked about today. With respect to Cardano, I think currently, because of the fact that how the chart is set up on a RSI and a MACD perspective right now, and also knowing the fact that we are kind of bouncing off the walls right now, I think the level that we're currently at the $1.71 level, we're gonna see a little bit more of a sell-off down to the $1.65 level. I think the probability of us to do so will be more like a 60%. To a 40% of a ratio perspective. So I recommend to like buy at these level as a first level dollar cost average. If we break that level, right, and we have a lot of non-substantive sub level type of a consolidation around the $1.50 level, that could be another attractive level for you to do dollar cost average, right? But if we break that, we have a pretty steep fall all the way back down to the $1.33, $1.30 level, right? Which will be, in my opinion, that's a steal level for us to get there, right? But you could see that the swings is pretty wide in comparisons to each of the levels that we have identified here, right? And again, it makes sense because Cardano is a lot more volatile. The price point for Cardano is lower, and also with respect to more retail investors in the equation of the mix of the asset allocations in the pool of investors for Cardano, less corporate investors in this play, right? Which subsequently means that there's going to be more public selling pressure that are most of the time driven by emotions, and when it's more driven by emotions, it means more volatility in play, right? Less on the logic plays, less through the corporate cadence play that typically would be going through for like a Bitcoin, which is more stable, right? So something to be mindful of, and also something to be aware of, in terms of like controlling your emotions to make sure that your logics and your analytics in play, so you don't make the wrong trade going forward, right? And with respect to the price target year end $3, I think that's fair, knowing the fact that we tested the 244 levels already. So for us to reach all-time high by year end, with the further adoptions and utilizations going forward, I think $3 totally makes sense with the growth that we're experiencing right now. Contingent on the trend that we're going forward that is in play and how the chart is set up right now. I think if you draw the line outward in the next 12 months, hitting $3 or even upward to like $4.50 wouldn't be surprising to me. And if you're to buy in at the $1.65 levels, that will give you an upward of $82 of an upside, or close to 2 times your money from here, which is a relatively good gains in my opinion. All right, so that's it for today with respect to my technical analysis on Cardano, ticker ADA. Really appreciate you guys for dropping by again to listen to my insights and my analysis. Please hit the like button, the subscribe, and also the bell notification to watch out for the next video. Take care. Bye.